could be a leg, could be an arm, could be blindness. That particular person needs special attention. Or could also be even emotional difficulties or problems. So that particular person also needs special attention. Now, in this case, if it's a general term, we're talking about how many interest is in special needs, that's in education. We're mainly looking special needs in education. Are we together? Now, if we are to go by our heading here, they are saying identification and assessment. Identification and assessment. First of all, if there is a person with a problem or some difficulties in acquiring education, whatever, first step you're supposed to, before you provide special attention, then you are first of all supposed to identify the kind of problem which that particular person is having in relation to some difficulties he's having when he wants to acquire education. You can't give a solution without knowing what kind of problem the person has. You provide a solution soon after you have realized it or you have identified the problem. I hope we are together. Yes. So, to know that, you are first of all supposed to identify. Identification of children with special education. And then after you have identified, you go to assessment. You go to assessment. You assess that particular problem you've identified in a person. And that particular problem is causing that person not to acquire anything. I mean, if disabling problem, and say that problem is disabling the process of teaching and learning. How do you get it? Is disabling the process of teaching and learning. How much is that there? Now, that's why they have come here to say, first of all, you look at the concept of assessment, and then thereafter the technique of assessment. Now, we've come here to talk about special needs. Special needs refers to individuals who require or need assistance for disabilities that may be medical. If the hospital has told you that this particular student or person is having such a problem. Therefore, when it comes to teaching and learning process, requires or needs special attention. Or if it's not medical, then it's medical. Mentally, you can see this person is mentally system. Therefore, needs special attention. If the physical or physiological, you know what about physiology. Yeah? Also, will require special attention. Now, in line with the special needs, there is children with special needs. Special needs is knowledge, then children with special needs, and from there, special education needs. I'm interested in those three. Special needs, knowledge. Now, let us go to special needs education. Special needs education. Special needs education. Special needs education. Nobody was number SNE. Special needs education. What does that mean? Special needs education. Or what are special needs education? What is or what are special needs education? Special needs education refers to, could be instruction or services that are designed or tailored to meet unique needs of learners with disabilities. And this is according to the definition is given by or is defined by the Ministry of Disability. That was in 2006. The definition of Ministry of Education here in Malawi gave to anybody who is dealing with these issues of special needs. That was in 2006. If describing or is defining special needs education as instruction. If not instruction, then services. Which instructions are these or services? There are those instructions or services that are tailored or that are given or that have been put in place to meet unique needs or unique special needs of learners. Which learners? Any learner? No. Only those learners with disabilities. And the word disability, it means there are some learners who are not able to do what? They are able to do what? They are able to access or maybe to understand or to grasp the learning process, teaching and learning process. They have some problems which they are encountering. I don't know if right there we're moving together, I don't know. When I move them. Now, what would be the rationale for the provision of special needs to such kind of students who are disabled? The rationale. Rationale is the justification. Maybe somebody will come and ask those people who are providing those services to such kind of students. They may be asked, how have you come to this step of assisting such kind of students? They need to justify. When we are talking about the rationale for the provision of such attention, it is to assist learners. They can justify that we are doing this because we want to assist learners with differences. Because learners are not the same. No matter what, they will not be the same. They are different. Even the disabilities themselves, if they are disabled, the disabilities have been categorized into several types. They are different. And even their needs too will be different. They will not be the same. So the justification is to assist learners with differences. And these differences could be intellectual problems. Sometimes even this intellectual problem could be caused by significant loss of sight because of sight. Can affect these learners. Probably they have hearing problems and even learning difficulties and so on and so forth. So the justification will be brought in such a way that will explain why they have decided to bring such unique attention, special attention to such kind of students. Now, in line with special education needs, there are difficulties learners experience in the course of learning. There are difficulties. And these difficulties could be due to under stimulation. If not under stimulation, then it could be because of social-emotional neglect, and even traumatic experiences. Sometimes if a student is traumatic, is going through trauma, he or she can be affected education and cannot do fine. So any learner who is experiencing difficulties in the learning process, that particular learner is known as special educational needs learner. Special educational needs learner. He can be or she can be identified by that label. Now, they are saying, take note of this. They are saying, presence of disability. The fact that a student is disabled, that is not sufficient reason to initiate special needs education services. The fact that you have seen a student is disabled, you've seen disability in the student. That is not enough for such particular, or me to consider that particular student with that particular disability. To put him or her in the category of those people who are supposed to be, to receive special needs education services. Who want to learn? We get my services. No. Who want the fact that is disabled? Is that not enough to initiate that particular student, to initiate him or her under special needs education services? No. But what is needed there? The thing which is needed there is a thorough assessment. I should assess that student. It is going to be difficult. Even the one who can do my no one substitute that special needs education services. No. You may find not at all. Not at all. He or she doesn't require those services until a thorough assessment has to be done before registering that particular learner as special educational aid. So that's this is what they are saying. Now, here they have written or they have talked about identification and assessment. Identification and assessment. Identification and assessment. Okay, let me check on this one. Okay, here is special needs education related services. First of all, you are saying special needs education related services. That is to say, the services that are in line with that are supposed to be given to those people who are under the special needs education or require special attention when they are learning. Services that are supposed to be given to those students when they are in the process of learning. But they are encountering some challenges, therefore, special attention is supposed to be given to them. What kinds of services? So they're saying these are assistance that are provided to children with disabilities, and while in those services given to them, the services are given to them in order to help in their ability to enable those learners who are encountering some challenges to learn and function in that restrictive environment. Those children with some problems, they are in a restrictive environment. The environment is restricting them from obtaining or from accessing education. Students are supposed to access education, but because of the challenges which they are encountering or they have, those challenges are restricting those children not to attain what they are supposed to attain or to get. So, such kind of children need assistance, need some kind of services. And one of the services is this one. Identification. Children have problems. Do you know which problems they have? What are you supposed to know? First of all, you need to know children for example you are saying. Identify. Yes, you can see he or she is blind. What kind of assistance? Identification is the same here. So on identification, the second one, there is computer orientation, is probably you are using a class of computers, and the student is supposed to use the computers. If you do not give that particular student orientation, how is he or she going to use the computer? She doesn't have any expertise or any knowledge about, to go on how, to go about it, or to go on a computer and then start operating. But using this computer, not any knowledge. So computer orientation to students with no specialty impairments. If they are struggling to speak, then speech therapy, again physical therapy, and even orientation and mobility if they are even failing to move. Take all those notes. So I believe these services are very important. The services which are given to such kind of children who are encountering or facing some challenges or problems in the learning process, those services are very important. Why do you think those services are very important? If a student is failing to read or to speak, and the service is being brought to him or to her, why do you think those services brought to them are very important? They are very important because they provide an alternative to life function. Those services given to those students with challenges, with some problems, these services will provide an alternative to life function. And the second importance of such services, apart from the provision of alternatives, to be alternative to life function, they are there also to reduce dependence on others all the time. Take for instance, you have a student who is supposed to go to school. He's coming from very far, and he wants to learn what she wants to learn, but she cannot go on her own to school because she is or he is disabled, or the lower part of the body got paralyzed to the extent whether he cannot go or she cannot go by himself or herself to school. Then to help that particular student, he or she is being carried behind the back. Don't move the head. Move the legs. See the bosom is keeping the vision. The second service is supposed to be given to him. And the one will do. What if that particular person who carries him or her to school is sick? Will this student go to school? What are you supposed to do? Bring another service as an alternative. Now, you can bring a wheelchair. That wheelchair, I don't know wheelchair, they are electrical. Ama so kama mfumo kwa mabata na hata mlikuwa mfano. Ndio msaidia mbona mtoto kiji shule za mshikaji. Ukose mpaka kabla ya kuondoka macho. Unapopita kasi. So, these services, they are there to provide assistance. They reduce dependence. Huyu akapenda wheelchair, Mungu akataka aone kuna na school cha. Hapo no. So that thing which has been brought to him or to her has reduced dependence on others. He will not depend on anyone else. You go to school by himself or herself using whatever means or probably machine or assistance has been brought to him or her. So these services, they are very important because they reduce dependence on others all the time. Another importance of such kind of services or assistance they bring confidence and self-esteem. This one will be confident. Will be confident. Jikasika, chukua ishi, ndinacho. You also, you have self-esteem. You have self-esteem. Akamaka, amuzi kutamulezi na isuko. Au kabuenda na ili ambao ndikafika chile yose, it will be well with me. So that's why such services, they are very, very important. I don't know if you have any question. No any question? Okay. Special needs. Special needs education is special about okay, yeah, that's given us. What is so special about special needs education? That's the question we've been asked. What is so special? What is so special about special needs education? What is so special about special needs education? We are saying it is not because of special materials. They use, not because of the materials they use to foster teaching or to promote teaching and learning. That's not the case. But it is unique because specialist teacher considers the need of every learner in a classroom setting. And the methods used are child-centered upon realizing the need of respective learners. Let me say this before I forget. They are saying special needs education. Special needs education. And in Myanmar, they are saying it's guided by a policy. It's guided by a policy. And this one emphasizes, the policy emphasizes on the equalization of opportunities. The emphasis is on the equalization of opportunities for persons with disabilities or with different impairments. Special needs education. Special needs education. This one is a policy. And this policy is guided the equalization of opportunities for persons with disabilities. This is the emphasis which this particular policy is dwelling on, or is shedding light on. So you need to take note of that. And again, for equalization to be a success, this equalization, say each one of you students here, or to say to it that all students are supposed to be equal. This policy can only be successful if inclusive education policy was introduced, and indeed it was introduced. It was introduced. And this is in line with or to concur with the Salamanca Statement of Framework for Action, which was brought forward in 1994. And this statement states that the regular system must accommodate special educational needs learners and teachers in such a setting must use children or child-centered methods, which is also known as pedagogy. Now let us have a look at the techniques. The techniques of this. Maybe if you have any question, you can ask. Okay, I was looking at the concept and technique of assessment. They are saying there are 7 techniques that can be used. The assessment of performance, and these are: 1, performance assessment, attitude assessment, written assessment, project assessment, product assessment, use of portfolios, and self-assessment. Now, mainly, I'm interested in assessment of that county assessment. Concept and techniques of assessment of children with special needs. Assessing children with special needs. Anyway, what is the concept of assessment? First of all, concept of assessment. The concept of assessment. Concept of assessment. And then technique of assessment. They are talking. Now, assessment, take note of this. I'm on the concept of assessment in education. The concept of assessment in education. So assessment is a systematic basic foundation for making inferences about the learning and development of students. When we talk about assessment, what is assessment? That is the process of defining, first of all, defining. Secondly, selecting. Apart from selecting, then designing. Apart from designing, correcting. Apart from collecting, then analyzing, interpretation, and using information to do what? To increase students' learning and development. All these things identifying, they are defining, selecting, designing, selecting, analyzing, interpretation, interpreting, and so on and so forth. These things, they are there to increase the students' learning and development, to increase students' learning and development, not to increase students' learning and then development. Now, what are the basic concepts and principles in education assessment? As I've earlier said, the principles or rules of assessment are that assessment should be valid, is supposed to be valid. When you assess students, it should be valid. Is it valid or invalid? When you're assessing a student, the assessment must be valid, must be exact or authentic, must be current, known as facts or reliable. The assessment must be reliable. From there, we are also supposed to look at the techniques. I'm interested in the techniques. I said earlier on, there are 7 techniques. There are 7 techniques that can be used. 1, the assessment of performance. We are supposed to assess performance. Take for instance, how can performance be assessed? Assessment of performance.
Actually, those students that are doing well, to identify those that are doing well.
Yeah. Our Southern plan, that was And you're saying,
through identifying students, children, that are doing well, and those that are not doing well in their studies.
how can you do that?
I think by providing them some tests.
Yes.
Yes.
Test. You're providing tests to students. Performance can be assessed like that. How are they going to perform? You see the example. That's when you know to say student A is performing ABC. Student B is performing CDE through their grades. That's when you realize. You are going to realize. You realize who is doing better than the other, who is failing, who is doing according to the expectation of the school or of the teacher. So the assessment, technique number one, assessment of the performance. Technique number two, attitude. You're going to assess the attitude. You're going to assess the attitude of the student. Apart from assessing the student's attitude, you're also supposed to use different assessments to assess other things that are supposed to be assessed. So those are the techniques. What about the method which is supposed to be used in assessing learners with disabilities? How can you assess learners with disabilities? Which methods are you supposed to do? They are saying there are common achievement tests that are used to diagnose a learning difficulty in a student. There are common techniques and tests that are supposed to be used. So that is that. What are the assessment methods?
Approve.
Okay, let me read first of all here what has been given here. Uh, the different tense, wherein has defined the problems and the relevant tense. Different tense and concepts used in different speaking areas in relation to people with disability and their social integration. Analyzing the relevant literature, we can find a variety of terms that refer to people with disability, like the following. People with disability. One, defect. handicap. We're looking at the church first of all. These things are used in relation to children with disabilities. You may hear about the word defect, handicap, somatopath, base damage, and so on and so forth. So according to the report, it is important to emphasize that in the Republic of this research, I think it was done in Macedonia, that's close to so it was done right there. They are monitoring and then assessing and then measurement and measure whatever they wanted to measure in relation to assessment. So many authors sat down to define a lot of things differently and even the importance in the evaluation and the overall assessment of education work. So it was done. And I think maybe I should just send it to, let me put it on the forum so that you should also benefit from it. And forwarding it, but you see you open the web. If the command is well said it is the things you need to read them. Yeah. Understand both of them. Don't ignore them. The assessment of children with special needs is already and still is a dilemma in the everyday school's life, either from the teacher's point of view to the students and their parents too. So the idea was to detect what are the practices of assessing children with special needs, which are included in the mainstream and are given enough learning aid to find out what are the problems in assessing those pupils and to present some best practices of assessing children with special needs. So in the research, not only one, maybe I could say researchers, a lot of research have been done and have included more than 100 or plus teachers from different education levels, maybe from primary school, secondary, and even maybe university, who already have done had some experiences in teaching children with special needs. Such kind of teachers, they have vast experience on how to go about it. So they were asked; those teachers were asked to complete a survey about assessing children and making tests, motivating pupils, and even defining criteria and problems that arise when they have to assess pupils. So especially those pupils with disabilities or some challenges, or with those who are having special needs. So they also had the possibility to present their own best practices in assessing children, apart from what they got. But they had also to apply theirs. So the results showed that teachers are fairly independent in assessing children with special needs. They are independent in assessing children with special needs. But however, generally, there are fewer problems when assessing children that are hearing impaired. Those children with hearing problems had fewer problems according to what they saw. But those people those students they have several problems when assessing children that are hearing impaired. Apart from that one, even those with physically impaired or visually impaired. On the other hand, they had major problems in assessing children with specific language impairment. Mafuta wakulaku are those with language impairment or children with the ADD or ADHD. That's those who had disorder, high disorder. Attention disorder. Those problems with attention. You can agree with me to say, probably you've heard, if you are a teacher, you agree with me. But maybe you've heard. In a classroom of students, or some students are seated, but you may find others moving around disturbing others. Yeah. When the teacher is teaching, those are disorders who seek attention. The disorder, attention seekers. So those are many problems. They have difficulties in evaluating, and teachers have difficulties in evaluating such kind of students when they have given them tests with a free response or items. So teachers know that teamwork could help them in gaining more confidence, especially if they can share their opinions with professionals. They approve them in categories than living one-on-one. You deal with him or her. It's a challenge. But give them a teamwork. Put them in groups and then they should concentrate. Maybe that one can help. Let us hear from another author. With assessment. Assessing students with special needs. This paper, then we also send it first, read it. 18 pages, isn't a lot. Omukali musinde ebi I was supposed to be very dangerous. 14.
Last week,
Eh?
sina mwili ya rukumu. Sina mwili ya last week.
14?
Last week nenda mzunguko zake. Thursday na Friday.
Tafuta data moja.
Nda.
Tafuta data. Tafuta barua kwa mmoja. Sisi tafuta. Wewe ndio sisi tafuta mmoja sisi. Ukala na kama ile pen.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Kau dia tu bila kita kerja mana? Sina kerja. Okay, muna Friday. Okay, thanks. Kita perlu student specialist juga. Okay, bas, thank you. Sana kerja. Kita kerja.
Tunapuzia.
Sawa, ndio uzalo wa jamii ndio ndio kwa student specialist. Watu za sababu ndio kuanza kwenye specialist. Tunafunzia ndio sababu.
Right. Nasi mwanzo. Mambo za nani?
Sisi ya Sudi ya jamii.
Sudi ya ndani.
Sudi ya jamii.
Yeah. You know the dance?
Last people that was Sudi.
17. 14. Friday. Children with special needs. Sorry. Kodi Friday last week munabwera mpaka nakusanyisa. Kodi last Friday then tunakuta subject gani? Special needs nikakuzanza ya special needs yo tapanga cheki. Tapanga cheki ndio mami cheki. Ile mtu kwa ya mnao tini pale.
Bali kabisa. Uko nyuma mbali.
Kodi tumaliana subject gani? Children with special needs. On Friday inali siku lunch.
14